A decision by the Niue High Court on an application by Commonwealth Member of Parliament Honourable Tungia Sione regarding government's decision to appoint 2 assistants to the ministers' roles has now been reached by the courts. In 2011, a declaratory application to the Niue High Court by Honourable Sione declares the appointment of assistants to ministers is ultra vires of the Constitution and therefore invalid. In addition, he seeks a declaration that any remuneration paid to those appointed to this role, which is above that of ordinary members, is illegal and must be paid back to government and such payments ceased. The Crown response is that Section 11 of the Civil List Act 2009 provides for the appointment of a member to assist a minister. This position is not an executive role and is not inconsistent with the Constitution. Further, member of the Niue Assembly appointed to this role ought to be remunerated for their extra work as appropriate. Honourable Judge Wilson Isaac said in his ruling that regardless of whether the lack of mention of an extra remuneration for a member appointed to assist Assembly, the remuneration over and above which is specifically authorised for an MP under the Civil List Act 2009 must be paid back and such payments stopped immediately. Today, Honourable Premier Toke Talangi said in his interpretation of the decision by Judge Isaac is of the change to the Act which has now been established.
We've already changed the Act to allow for the 2 people to be paid. So whatever the court has decided, in fact, has been, if you like, implemented by the Assembly in November last year. So we're talking about the thing that has already been completed. In many respects, it was obviously an argument between 2 legal positions as to whether you can or cannot. As I understand it, the judge pointed out the fact that I can, in fact, appoint 3 people. But there must be provisions in an act to enable me to do that and pay them, rather than use the basis of allowances to pay those people. So when we passed the new Civil List Act in November 2011, that took care of that situation. So whatever the judge ruling yesterday, as far as I understand, has already been done by us, if you wish, in November. What we now need to do is to determine what we do with respect to backdating if we need to. But I'm seeking legal counsel at the present moment from Crown Law as well as Tony Angelo to determine what is the best political decision in the end to take with respect to the payment period from, I think, June to November last year.
That is Honourable Premier Toke Talangi. We'll bring you more on this story in our future news bulletin. Waste management issues at the Matawai Resort has added cost to some of the new developments at the resort. Reports from concerned fishermen of sewage waste seeping out to sea from the resort has prompted action from the resort's new management, who are dealing with the matter. An investigation conducted by Environment Department into the existing sewage system says there are concerns for waste management, particularly one septic tank near the swimming pool area and accommodation block. An environmental impact assessment was conducted prior to the resort being built in the 90s. However, it appears that there may have been an oversight. According to Environment, the septic tank has not been emptied since the resort was built due to its location and inaccessibility. A separate investigation was also carried out by contractors Arrow International, who discovered problems with the sewage waste system and are now in the process of devising plans to address the problems.
When we discovered the problem, the first thing we did was obviously get Environment to come and empty the tanks to try and we've been trying to do that and keep on top of it to keep the level of waste in the tanks lower while we resolve the issue. The plan going forward is to demolish the existing tank completely, set up a new system which is currently being designed, but the new system will have, I think, probably 2 tanks, more efficient and a much larger soak pit area. So the idea will be that the product that comes out of the new system will be pretty much pure, I'm told, that the liquid that comes off by the end of going through the filtration process will be pretty much pure. And we will also put a maintenance plan in for the resort management, so they know how often to get the tank cleaned out and emptied and better maintained.
Matawai Resort Management says that the added costs are astronomical and on top of what they had originally envisaged, but it is a matter that needs to be addressed and is being dealt with.
The cost could be anything up to about $80,000 NZ. And we'll obviously aim to complete it by the time that we've completed the project. So we're aiming to hand over this project in June, and so we'll have everything done and completed by then. But we'll start the work on the new tanks as soon as the design is ready from New Zealand, which should be relatively soon. I'm hoping to get that through within the next couple of weeks, and then as soon as the environments truck is ready, we'll get the existing tank emptied and demolished and start on the new ones.
Despite these unexpected costs, the additional work has not affected progress on developments of the new units at the resort. There are some issues that are out of their control, but the group are making good progress.
We have the same issues that everybody building on the island faces. Obviously the shipping is out of our control, and the weather is out of our control, but we're doing pretty good, I think, on progress. We have the roofs on 2 of the new blocks already, and we're very close to getting the roof on the 3rd block now. When the next boat arrives, we should also then start putting in things like the mains electric and the fibre optic cables for telecom. And so, yes, we're progressing well and hope to have the first of the units handed over early June, with the second 2 units following hot on the heels of those ones. The existing rooms, obviously we found a bit more water damage in there than we'd hoped for, which did put us back a little bit, but we're doing well through there. We've started the painters are in those blocks now and the wall tilers, and so we'd be hoping to get the first 12 rooms handed over in March and then start work on the second 12 rooms as soon as those ones are handed over back to the control of the Matawai.
It is expected that work on the new septic waste management system and extensions to the resort will be completed in time for the handover of the project in June. Niue government has signed an agreement to establish a shipping registry on the island. Premier Talangi made the initial announcement in the first sitting of the House of Assembly, and today we asked him of where the project is at present.
It's now just a question of getting ourselves in a position to pass the Act, to become members of the IMO and so on, or to accede to the requirements of the IMO, ILO and so on, and to meet the international requirements to enable us to be part of the thing. And then we should set up the registry here. They've already indicated that they would like to appoint a director here to assist with the management of the registry. And the Crown Law Office at the present moment is working and possibly using a consultant to come in and assist with that process. I expect this to be completed by hopefully May of this year. And then I think the only other thing that I indicated there is the fact that the first 2 years minimum payments would be paid to us as soon as the registry is up and running. And that's equivalent to about $300,000 US. So hopefully by May we should be able to receive that payment.
Why is this established? This is the first time a shipping registry like this has been established here in Niue, or the government is looking at this incentive or initiative?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether anybody has been interested in setting up a shipping registry here in the past, or whether they in fact understand the requirements for setting something like this up. It isn't complicated. It isn't a new type of business. I mean, as I pointed out, I think in earlier explanations, it's the shipping registries in Panama is the biggest. Liberia and so on. So it's not a bad business. It's just part of the things that we could do, and the fact that we can actually set it up is good for us, and the company is keen to work with us to do that. So I think it's just fortuitous in some respects. And the other thing is that when the company made the initial approaches to us, we were very forward in our dealings with them and in our desire to have a ship registry up and running for Niue as well.
Premier Talangi also said Niue will not be liable if there are problems with ships that get registration in Niue.
The shipping registry itself is not difficult. What is difficult sometimes is owners doing some odd things with their ships that are registered under our flag, for example. They may decide to carry guns for extra amounts and so on. The shipping company obviously tries to avoid registering vessels that may have companies which have bad reputations. So this is part of the reasons why they're the experts in this field. They are the ones that we're using at the present moment to help us establish the shipping registry. They're the ones who will recommend to us what ships to register and when to register them and so on.
If it does happen that, I guess we register a ship that might not be good, are we will Niue be liable?
Well, we'd be liable, but we'll be covered by insurances to ensure that we're not going to be we're not going to do this simply because the risks are becoming liable in a situation where, for example, in New Zealand at the present moment, you would hear that the vessel owners are the people who are liable. It is not the shipping registry that is liable. So I think at the present moment that's a lesson in itself, but it's also something that we need to be careful about. I think the danger is a ship that is being registered under our flag doing some odd things. The fact that a ship hits a reef and falls over, it's a responsibility of the ship owners and the ship captain and so on, as we've seen up in Tauranga, and we've also seen in Italy recently.
Government is hoping the shipping registry establishment will be completed in May. And to end our news bulletin for tonight, reports that Niue government is again causing a commotion internationally could receive more benefits for the island as a set of coins with a special message of love and togetherness was due to launch this week on behalf of the Niue government. Just the perfect token of affection of your significant other and a great way to remember Valentine's Day 2012. Niue Legal Tenders has also depicted Star Wars characters with good old Sponge bobbing in for a clean sweep. The latest edition is also reported to bring as much publicity for the island. The new shape of a puzzle piece is already a hit and is due to go on display in Berlin, Germany on the 3rd of February. That's our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.